Kyle Shanahan. All right, he's working his way back after the car accident that he was involved in July, that I think we just heard about an hour ago. But Kyle Shanahan is back, and he's getting ready for the season. And he did speak to the media about the accident and what went wrong that fateful evening over the weekend.
I mean, anytime you cause an accident that can be avoided, you'd feel pretty stupid. I mean, especially when you have a chance to hurt someone else. And so, I think you get mad when you get a ticket at yourself. So it was kind of the same, things that I think everyone's done to a degree what I've done. Dropping a phone and falling all the way to my back seat to where I have to fully take my eyes off the road. It's something that I normally want to do. I've had autopilot for 9 years, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. And who knows what happened when I turned around, whether it malfunctioned or whether I knocked it off. That's something I don't know yet. But regardless, it is always your fault, whether you're an autopilot or not. You can't take your eyes off the road. It's a partnership driving. You don't just turn it over to a computer. And it's a good lesson, no matter how comfortable I am with that I believe someday could save my life or someone else's, or it's really helped me have perspective on that stuff.
What a bunch of crap. Come on,
God
man.
bless you.
Thank you.
Come on,
Zoom tight.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I do have a question about this, because this came up in a conversation with some buddies about, we're going to get to a point where I guess it's easy to sit there and say, well, the blame's going to go on the driver, because whether it was an autopilot or not, it's his vehicle, it's his car, he's in control of it ultimately. But there are some people that I know out there who take liberties with probably drinking too much and or other things for that matter, and then putting their car on autopilot because it is so advanced now, and letting it drive them home. I mean, if we're getting to a point where we're going to have driverless cars, whether that's, via robo-taxis or Teslas or whatever other vehicle that's got the capabilities of doing this, it does beg the question, what's that going to look like? Imagine an officer pulls you over and you've been on autopilot. So where does the blame go there? I mean, is it going to be on the vehicle if it malfunctioned? Are you then going to get popped for, it probably wouldn't be speeding, but let's say it was swerving and they pull someone over and they say, hey, there was some erratic behavior back there. And dude, I wouldn't even touch the wheel. I was on autopilot.
Have you known anybody?
Or I had my hands on the wheel, but
that's done that? Because I have. I had a buddy he had a Tesla, and he said multiple times he went out and just got butchered and had it drive him home. And I was like, are you sure you're allowed to do that? He goes, I don't know. I got home safe. Okay.
Okay, full disclosure, I've got a buddy who did something similar, and he would say something similar, and I'd be like, dude, I don't think that's smart. In fact, I know it's not smart. You just get an Uber, get something else. Go back and get it tomorrow. It doesn't matter. And so it's interesting that, we're getting to a point though where there's probably someone's going to have an argument on their side of it, saying well, what's the difference? Between us 5 years from now, if we have autonomous cars and there's a robo-taxi picking us up and taking us back home and there's no driver inside.
I feel like this is moving the goalpost a little bit though. It's
what?
You're saying for Kyle Shanahan specifically, or just the topic in general?
Yes. No, for Kyle Shanahan. And so the conversation that I was having this weekend, that was in my school of thought, was just putting all of the information together that we were able to have. The fact that it took 11 days to report it, the fact that there were clerical errors that were made by the police department on how they viewed the accident. No one was at fault. No citations were issued. The fact that Kyle Shanahan gets jacked up, then shows up and says that he is to blame. And then we hear him explaining it even more and basically putting it on the car. Mm-hmm. It just, if this was a player on that team, does he get the same treatment as the coach? And I know the answer is no to that, but let me ask you guys this. I saw Dante Whitner, do a post and talking about how Access Media, they control this narrative. I don't know that I believe the narrative that Kyle Shanahan is going with. He's going with, I turned around to reach to get my phone out of the back seat and autopilot let me down. That's what he's going with. That's what it sounds like. You're trying to control the narrative, and you much rather just take the blame for I was at fault. I did something wrong. I reached behind to grab my phone. My car was in autopilot. This is why the accident happened. I'm ready to coach, moving on. But it took y'all 11 days to report it, and now Kyle Shanahan is basically the only one that's reporting what perceivably, or the only account of what happened. I just think that there's something that still doesn't fit, for one. But for two, it made me ask the question, and I'm kind of with Whit. Why did you not report it? Like, at first we were saying, out of respect and privacy of Kyle and his family and all that. But is it access? Would they have denied the local media access? When he did his press conference, I didn't realize this until I looked at a couple other reports, but I guess it was only local media and there were no cameras.
Yeah, he pulled him into his office.
I'm just saying, it just all has a feel of cover-up. And it's a cover-up for his reputation. And I don't know that to be factual. I'm just saying, take a name out of it. If I were to list everything that took place and how it was handled, that says to me something isn't right. So I'm not more focused in on if a car malfunctioned. I'm more focused in on why did they feel the need to have this course of action, this timeline of events of how they handled it. It just doesn't add up. And I just don't think that would have happened for a player. And I also think that the media would have been held accountable if they reported what they were going to report.
Look, I've not proud of it. I've cheated. I've probably been cheated on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this thing smelled fishy from the get-go. Like, it seemed like it was, and if you
just going to put yourself out there.
Well, it is what it is. But you know BS, and you know when you're telling BS, and you know when someone's telling you BS. You just kind of are able to read the situation. The story from the get-go didn't add up. Like, nothing about it added up. And then his explanation, it was almost like he was adding detail upon detail upon detail. It's like, okay,
you're trying to overcompensate.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, I'm with you.
It's
dog.
not, and you know, like, anybody who's ever told a lie or been down, like, you know that feeling,
especially when you're the one who does it,
piling on and piling it. Yes. Like, you know that feeling.
You know that storyline when you're the one that uses them.
I've been there. Full disclosure, I've been there.
You know you ain't knocked no goddamn autopilot off with your knee. You ain't did that.
And I don't know what they're trying to hide. Was he drinking? I have no idea. Was there somebody else in the car? I have no idea. Has anybody talked to the other driver? Like, that's the other part of this as well, too. Has anybody gotten a statement or comments from the other driver? It just, the handling of it, the explanation, none of it makes any sense.
It's like, get it over with. Like, let's get it over with and move on. But I kind of feel like that's how the Rossini sit down.
And also, yeah.
I just kind of feel like there's a pattern with head coaches in the National Football League right now.
It's August 10th. LaVar once again trying to continue to make it a story.
And I'll ask you, and I'll say this. The only reason we know about this story at all is because training camp was starting. If this was...
Wouldn't have never even heard of it.
Ever.
It would have been a blip. It would have been a blip. Like,
can I just say this? What's wrong with that? Like, why do we need to know everything about everyone this offseason? Like, that's where I kind of stand on all this. It's like, it was during a break or period of time where it was a dead period in the NFL calendar. It's like, I don't, like, we only seem to focus on the negative. If Kyle Shanahan had gone out and donated, bajillion dollars to some charity and showed up and no one reported on that, or no one reports, it's like, Okay. I mean, like we tend to just focus on like the crazy stuff that happens, like players, coaches, their free time and all that. I don't know, man. Like, I'm glad he's safe, glad he's okay, glad the other person involved is okay. I frankly don't care about whose fault it was, whether it was his, Tesla's, whatever else. Everyone's good. Everyone's fine. Like, why is this such a big story? Because the cover up?
Yeah.
Because the timing of it? Like, I don't care. Like, I honestly think it's to a degree, it's such a waste of time. And I feel like everyone's pulling for like, oh, there has to be more to this. Like, what more? And like, what are we looking for to get more out of it? Like, there's some scandal? Is that what we're assuming there is? Is that what we need to have for the NFL?
I'm not assuming anything, but it is our job to talk about things that happen in sports news. I'm going to use your line on you, No.
I understand that this is not sports news. Like, let's just draw the line where there's a contradiction of what you're saying.
Okay,
we were talking about the World Cup because the World Cup, we're playing games. They're playing soccer. There's things that have come out from the World Cup. For example, Infantino was trying to sell a portion of the World Cup essentially to private equity in order to be able to generate, and that like obviously got a lot of pushback and blowback, so it didn't happen. But that's like the business of it. Like this happened during a period of time. It was like a dead period for teams and all that. And it's like, all right, well, the guy got an accident on that break. He's okay. Obviously sustained injuries. That was tragic. The other person seems to be okay. Like there's still this just major fascination with it. Like I'm personally not there. You guys can be.
The actual incident itself, the accident, you're right. Hey, the guy got in an accident. You're glad everybody's okay, and you learn your lesson from the whole thing. All of that would have been fine. And then they started adding layers of garbage on top of all that. You're like, okay, what's happening here? Like, why wasn't it reported on? What really went on? Like, we've heard different stories now, and that's where this becomes questionable. Just in regards to
what? Like, where's this going? Like, that's my whole point to all this. Is he going to get suspended for getting in a car accident?
I don't think he's getting suspended.
I think it's a conversation. Let's not. You can't dance around the conversation. I think some of the conversation connected to it, which it isn't a contradiction. He is a sports story because he's a head coach of a sports team. That's
right, but it's not about sports. That's why you're using what I said out of context.
You're choosing to not make it about sports.
Because it's not about sport. He just happens to be a head coach.
Well, he doesn't.
This has nothing to do with the 49ers.
He doesn't
I would rather, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I would rather talk about
the 49ers.
I would rather talk about the substation and all these injuries. Like, this has been the most injured team for the past how many years?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, let's go down that rabbit hole because clearly there's something to players are getting injured who just go there to practice.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. And it's like, at some point, I'd rather talk about the impact on their team and how that means for the games because they got dudes dropping left and right.
And
maybe
out next to this substation.
Maybe he should blame his car accident on the substation.
Yeah, and then you got and on top of that, if that's not bad enough, you got a coach leaving happy hour and playing bumper cars. In a driverless car. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. We like take a Waymo. You saw what happened with that. It's just. The story seems suspect. That's all.
And it's worth
fishy.
Talking about. Like,
it's a little fishy.
That's just sports media. If you don't want to talk about it, sit it out. But I'm just saying, that's sports media.
No, don't go.
My thing is very similar to the receiving variable. It's like, it's a dead horse. Like what are we, my whole point with it is what more are we going to get from this?
But why?
Like, it is a dead horse. We're talking about a subject that happened.
Why?
Over a month ago, 2 months. I mean, how far are we into this now?
Mm-hmm.
Also, didn't he have like a laceration on his face, Kyle Shanahan? I was looking for that. I didn't see it. Didn't see anything on the face there when he was talking. Just, there's just feels like there's some stuff that we're not being told here. That's all. It's just, that's all. Just saying. But the substation is a problem, and the substation does have a Twitter account now, which is awesome.
Right, which is dynamic. I mean, can you really pull it up and just read some of the tweets that it's sent off? It's fantastic. I mean, again, I feel terrible for the players that it's making light of, but the reality is there needs to be some greater. I mean, there's right now there's a chance that New England can't play their preseason game because they couldn't get a field that fits the requirements of the NFL and the NFLPA based on the CBA in time for this week because of, I guess, what took so long from the World Cup or something. Like, there's a lot of other things that like legitimately are just odd that are going on in the NFL that we probably haven't touched on or haven't even talked about. But the substation one is, again, I'm not sure if you're a player there. George Kittle's talked about it, how you don't look at things a little bit side-eye based on how many injuries they've had.
All right, so a 49ers, account. It's not the 49ers account, but somebody that covers the team sent a tweet out that said, head coach Kyle Shanahan is out without his sunglasses today at training camp practice. His return is getting closer. The substation retweeted that and said, is being near me really the best way to heal?
Dang.
Which is a fair question.
That is a fair question.
So now, another one, Nick Bosa missed his third practice with soreness. Kyle Shanahan spoke about it. And the substation responded, I, for one, am surprised at this development.
Dang.
There's, let's see, other injuries. Yeah, they really do have a lot of injuries. Let's see here. What else we got? I got to go all the way down. They're really active, like really, really active. God, let me see. All right, there's this. The 49ers, Brock Purdy is cooking during the first period team drills today. Substation responds, guess what else is cooking? So there's, people are making jokes about it, but
did someone just go there for a joint practice or something that just took place and they had someone got injured as soon as they got there?
Yeah, it's a whole list of Mike Evans was dealing with something, just a whole list. There's got to be. And by the way, this is just based on the research we've been able to find. Since around 2013, they have been one of the most injured teams in the NFL, if not the most. Which I'd have to go back and look at when they moved into Levi Stadium, but I believe it was in somewhere around that. Maybe it was before, but somewhere in that ballpark. And so now, since we've got almost 13 years of data, it's pretty crazy to think how it's impacted their players, and you wonder if there's not, a greater class action lawsuit against them for this. I mean, look, I play for a number of teams. Back when the Rams were in St. Louis, dude, we were downwind from like a dump or some sort of processing facility where when there was a certain direction of the wind, I mean, you could smell it. And like, there was no doubt people were probably breathing in different toxins and crap that was being burnt off or however it was being processed. It should have never been there. I mean, I was only there for like half a season, but like, imagine if you had played there for years and you're ingesting that every single day you were outside. You remember that story about the Phillies players at the old vet? So, old Veterans Stadium where the Phillies and Eagles played, there's a ton of former Phillies that have died or dealt with cancer, and they did a test on some of the AstroTurf from the vet, and there were toxins and chemicals in there, and they thought, and the reason that they thought that had to do with some of the cancer that the Phillies players got and none of the Eagles players got is because during the summertime when they're playing their games there, the sun's just beating down into that turf and it's releasing all those toxins. So all those guys were breathing that crap for years, and they did tests afterwards and realized, yeah, this is poisonous. These guys were getting poisoned while they were playing games there.